All right, all right, all right. First, I would just like to just um, say hello to everyone, my family, my friends, my loved ones, even my enemies. Um, First, I just definitely want to give all the praise to my earthly creator, which is my mother and my father, and give the praise to their earthly creator, which is their mother and their father, all the way back. You see, um listen, what I want to do, I want to show y'all something. I'm my theme is um uh what will we tell our children? I want you just to think about something. Think about how everything look around you. Think about the neighborhood that you live in. Just think about the things that you see every single day, um concerning your people, concerning your neighborhoods. You see, and as the generations press on, what will we tell our children? So I want y'all to pay attention. I'm finna introduce you all to someone by the name of Dr. Henry Clark, and I do not own copyrights to none of this. I want to make sure that I put that out there. I do not own no copyrights to none of this. This just happened to be one of my teachers. And see, the reason why I have not been on for a long time is because when I hear somebody say something, instead of me just running with it saying that, oh, that right there is the truth, what I do is I investigate what I hear anyone that's teaching me say. I investigated that's what I do. Something that I didn't do when I begin to start calling myself a Christian, you see. But anyway, I want y'all just to stay to it. Listen, this is only for mature. This is only for a mature audience. This ain't for no one that is locked up behind bars and stuck in a box. You know what I'm saying, for Christianity. This wouldn't be a video for you. Someone that is really, really, really standing on, you know what I'm saying, believing that a man is going to come back and rescue you from whatever it is that you're going through. You see, um, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. You see. So I want y'all just to stay tuned, and I want y'all just to listen as we go along.
That's right. I'll tell you. Thank you very much. Mhm. We have a lot to explain and little time to explain it because both Dr. Ben and I are veteran classroom teachers. We're accustomed to bells, so churches are not strange to us, though we don't exactly belong to any. We know something about time. My topic that will be extended by Dr. Ben is a question. What will we tell our children about our fight for freedom? Extended again, what will we tell our children about our role in history? How we survived to this point? When people say we were slaves, what do we tell our children about our slavery in particular and slavery in general? What do we tell our children so they can stop turning their face away and want to crawl under the table when you mention our condition in the world? When will they stop blaming themselves? You have not explained it to them because you have not explained it to yourself. You have to know your oppressor and the nature of his oppression and what you did about it. At what point do we sit down and not argue about TV? At what time do we sit down and tell simple stories about our revolutionary heritage and get it across to our children? We have the longest revolutionary heritage of any people on the face of the earth. We have fought longer and harder and against great odds than any people on the face of the earth. Why do our children not know this? Because if they knew this, and if they loved themselves, none of them would put poison in their veins. If they knew this, they would know that a code of conduct is expected of them, that they cannot afford to live selfishly. Their conduct must reflect the best in a whole people. And when someone tried to lead them in ways not of their liking, they should have enough sense of their own selves on this earth to say, we are not a people who engage in things of that nature. We are not a people who demean ourselves in that way. But for them to know this, they have to know what kind of society produced them. Coming out of a collective society, being forced into an individual society in order to survive. And this is an assumption. You think that you must take on the traits of your oppressor, when your role is not to take on the traits of your oppressor. Your role is to prepare to destroy your oppressor. His conduct in the world disgraces everything that can be called democracy, everything that can be called Christianity. It's even a disgrace to the thing that means the most to him, capitalism. He's misconducting himself in relationship to the one thing he used to try to hold on to the world, the apparatus of exploitation. Why can't we tell our children that whosoever God is, all people have the right and the responsibility to look at God through their own imagination and address God in a language of their own creation?
Wow. Wow.
Why then can't we calm ourselves down, then calm them down? What happened to the big kitchens where the family used to gather, sip some coffee, some lemonade, and began to discuss matters pertaining to the family? And if it gets too delicate, send the children out to play. And when the door opened, it is settled. Our Supreme Court would have met and rendered a decision. We didn't take the matter to the oppressor, not expecting any mercy or understanding from him in the first place. We handled it within the structure of the family.
Wow.
What are we going to tell our children about that period in human history before the first European wore a shoe or lived in a house that had a window, and we produced enduring societies We did not have a word for jail because no one had ever gone to one.
Come on, come on,
Didn't have a word for orphanage because no one ever thrown away children.
come on, come on.
Didn't have a word for nursing home or old people's home because no one ever threw away grandpa and grandma. If we could fashion a society that had that much humanity, what can we do for ourselves today? And how can you explain the contradiction of a people who can build the pyramids and can't maintain a candy store in Harlem? The question came up in a meeting in Senegal. Yes, it was an arrogant member. I don't even know how he got there. He was in ethnic midstream. He didn't exactly belong to us. He didn't exactly not belong to us. He was what we call Hispanic, and he said he had enough African blood to justify being there, but he had no African loyalty.
Mm.
You must have African loyalty. Having the blood is not enough.
Mm.
You have no commitment.
Wow.
And he kept asking the question very arrogant and contemptuously. Yes, you people built the pyramid, but where are you now? What are you building now? Can you build the pyramid now? And I finally got tired of all this harangue. Do we need it now? Let's now build what we need right now.
Mm-hmm.
We need a railroad system stretching across Africa.
Wow.
And we need to build it. We need to have mining engineers, metal specialists to get the ore from the African earth, not to buy the rails from outside. Everything needs to come from inside of Africa itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's what we need right now. We need a road system, a rapid transportation in Africa that will take 100 years to complete. If it takes 100 years to complete, if we started this year, we've got only 99 more years to go. But if you don't start it,
That's right.
you never know when it's going to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
We must, in this generation, start things that a generation will have to complete, that another generation will have to complete.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are we going to tell our children about how we survive away from home? What are we going to tell them about the circumstances in Europe and in the world that caused them to be away from home?
Mm.
What are we going to tell them about the massive resistance movements in this country? What are we going to tell them about the most successful slave revolts we've had in the Americas, have been in South America and in the Caribbean islands?
Mm.
Not only what are we going to tell them, what are we going to tell the people of the Caribbean islands who seem to have forgotten about it?
Mm. Wow. Mm.
At what point do we tell our children, stop imitating imitators? You're imitating someone who's imitating you.
Wow.
But if you understand the message, you would tell our children, don't waste your time with Greek fraternities and sororities because they got them in the hands. All this nonsense and hazing just to get into a sorority and a fraternity, you have to literally humiliate yourself.
That's right. Wow.
Nothing that you have to humiliate yourself to get into is worth being a part of.
Say it. Say it. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
The African secret societies, where the Greeks stole the idea in the first place, were societies of responsibility, responsible people. How do we get this point across to our people? And how do we tell our children going to church while a European painted that picture up there? There's no proof that Christ looked that way. We're not arguing against Christ. We're arguing against somebody else's depiction of him arbitrarily as being white. We're not, all we have to say is that where he was born, if he wasn't a Greek, he wasn't a Roman, and the Greeks and the Romans were both mixed. If he wasn't either one of them, the chances are he was one of those other people. And all those other people were non-white. So you don't have to argue about his shade, whether he was light brown or all that. The main thing you have to establish that he wasn't a Greek and he wasn't a Roman. And once that mission is made, you walk away. I'm finished my conversation. What we have to do is to stop wasting each other's time. We're not arguing against the church. We think the church should be an instrument of a people's liberation.
That's right. That's
We
right.
think everything that touches our life should be an instrument of our
Come on
liberation.
now. That's right. There
And
it is.
anything we are part of
That's right. Yes.
that fails to be an instrument of our liberation
away from
should be thrown into the ash
Come
can
on
of
now.
history.
Wow. 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 Wow.
How do we explain ourselves to ourselves? And how do we explain ourselves to our children? When they read about slavery, tell them, yes, we were slaves, but look this is what we did about it. These are the circumstances. These are the people who benefited from it. These are the people who still benefited from it. This is why we still have slavery, white and black, only it's more severe on us. And the greatest slavery was the enslavement of the mind. And every time you worship some degenerate
Come on now.
baba,
Say it. Please say it.
this is a form of slavery. I'm not saying every bopper or bebopper is a degenerate, but I'm saying the degeneracy is so high in the profession, you're almost right if you name anyone in it. How we tell people that because we are not dopes, we don't hang out with dope. And how do we tell them that we came out of a society where we were secure enough to accept the female as a god without feeling so insecure, and that the people who feels insecure with the female in power are insecure as human beings?
Yes. 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 Yes.
We had and still have a cultural lifestyle
That's right.
that makes a place for everyone in the society. Today, the woman plays an important role in the
Yes.
churches,
Yes, she does.
behind the scenes, in the lodges, to such an extent. She's not taking the power away from the man.
That's right.
She's freeing his hand
Come on now.
so he could be a better man.
Come on. Come on. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Now, where do we say where both of us went wrong? Both of us have gone wrong at looking at each other, because we are looking at each other through the lens of Western sociology
Wow.
invented to downgrade us.
Wow. Wow.
And we cannot, under no condition, use this as a measurement.
Yes. Yes.
What are we going to tell them about the unification of African people? How are we going to tell them to achieve this kind of unification? How did we get lost on our way home? We need to meet again at the fork roads and read the signboards all over again.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
too many things that apply to our oppressor that does not apply to us.
Come on now. Come
And
on.
we're longing to be like someone.
Wow.
We're longing to follow someone
Wow.
who don't know where they are going.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
We need to set direction because we're following people who have no
No
direction.
direction. Wow.
We're fighting a hunger and a very insecure people who want all of the world, who can't count half,
Wow.
who don't know a fourth, who
Wow.
wants everything.
Come on now. Come on now. Wow.
We're dealing with the personality bred by that ice.
Wow.
It's ingrained in his personality. He is anti-democratic, anti-Christian, anti-humanity. And he will achieve everything at the expense
Yes.
of sacrificing
Wow.
humanity,
Wow.
democracy, and everything we call religion.
Wow.
I have grown weary of trying to explain the difference between religion and spirituality,
Come on now. Big difference.
because each time you make the experiment, someone said, you must be godless. I am not only not godless, I tried to remove all of the unnecessary underbrush away
Yes,
from me
that's
so
right.
I can get in closer.
That's right. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Wow. Wow.
Whoever he or she is.
Come on now. Come on.
And the she don't bother me either.
That's right. That's right. Wow. A
Now-
she is what make a he.
Let me sum up something that has no summary and end something that has no end. Where are we in the world? And how do we find ourselves, and how do we find ourselves and our place on the map of human geography?
Wow.
How do we tell people what went wrong? How do we get out of the terrible contradiction?
Wow.
After the independence of Ghana, we were so hopeful. It was in the midst of the civil rights movement and the marches, midst of the fight for Caribbean Federation. We thought that at last we had turned the corner
Yes.
on our way to true freedom
Wow.
and true unity.
Yes.
We
Yes.
underestimated our enemies.
Yes, we
We
did.
underestimated the members of our own group who was
Wow.
in the pay
Wow.
of our enemies.
Wow.
There was a whole lot of people did not want to be free from that dominance. There was a whole lot of people who didn't want to be comfortable seeing African people in power.
Come on now.
So between schemes and buying off
Yes. Yes.
a lot of them, the whole structure was lost. 10 years of celebrating on the road to freedom, 1957 to 1967. The next 10 years,
Wow.
almost the next 20 years,
Yes. 20 years.
our enemy, our former colonial master, our former enslaver,
Wow. Wow.
had learned the secret and gradually
Yes.
destroyed our organization from within and from without.
Then 20 years. Wow.
The concept of a Caribbean Federation went by the wayside. The idea of a unified Africa fell by the wayside.
They ignored it. They ignored it.
The idea of total citizenship in this country
Ignored it.
fell by the wayside.
Ignored it.
We were fighting for something that was a shadow, fighting for something the enemy could easily give us without
Come on.
losing his power.
Come on now. Just could have.
You
Oh,
want integration? They give you integration. That don't give you no money.
wow.
That don't give you no job. That don't give you no house. All right, so you can go in the same bathroom. You can eat at the same table. When you think of what price these hotels, you can build 5 hotels
Yes.
with the money you spent going into their expensive hotel.
Yep. Come on now. Wow.
You can build shoe factories for yourself.
Come on now.
Because you integrated, you thought you didn't have to do anything for yourself. They'll let them into theirs. You still have to build your own.
Come on. Come on.
You still have to build an industry.
Yes.
There wouldn't be so many of our young people hung up
Talk about it,
in
please.
this stupid drama in the sand
Wow.
had we not failed
Come on
them
now.
by not making
Oh,
a place
wow.
for them in our own community.
Wow. Come on now. Wow. In our own community, y'all. Our own neighborhood.
We had the funds.
Yes, we did.
We could have opened up cloth factories,
Yes.
dress factories,
Yes. Yes.
shoe factories, all the things. Just
Yes.
factories only dealing with the things we use.
With the things we use. That's it.
People get a little tired of me mentioning underwear because they're a little sensitive about this. But you're going to start manufacturing. The first brother that opens an underwear factory, and the first time you say, I ain't going to buy no underwear except from that brother,
Come
that
on now.
brother going to become a multimillionaire.
Yes. 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 Come on now.
On one
Wow.
item.
Wow. One
Now
item.
let's look at all the items
Wow.
in the more than $200 billion we feed into the American economy.
Oh my.
We can rescue ourselves.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Why
can.
do we still with our tin cup begging
Wow.
at the door of a
Wow.
fool?
My.
We have to locate ourselves on the map of human geography
My.
between the Caribbean islands, the United States, other parts of South America. 250 million African people,
Yes. Yes.
millions in the Pacific, over 150 million in India,
Yes.
counting the Dravidians. 500 million in Africa, according to a count was made 50 years ago, indicating that the African man is not going home trying to renew himself.
Wow.
Among the many faults we have, neglecting home, not renewing ourselves, is not one of them. We do want someone to carry on in our name. And the only way you can get someone to carry on in your name, you have to make honorable
Yes.
and at least some regular visits to a lady who's agreeable
Yes.
to helping you get your name carried on.
Yes.
Because it's her name too.
That's right.
We've taken care of some business well, the other businesses we have not taken care of quite so well. We will go into the 20th century with 1 billion people on the face of this earth. The idea is that we must not be 1 billion dependent people. We must not be 1 billion beggars. We cannot beg a thief for a piece of our own house. We have to straighten out our terminology. It wasn't about integration in the first place.
Yes.
Once you have justice and equality, then you can choose or not choose. There's a few black people, including a few members of my family, I'm not too hot on associating with. So that don't mean I'm going to fold. The minute integration is announced, I'm going to be right in the home of a white person. I'm going to be very selective about who I invite or whose invitation I accept.
That's right. That's right.
Besides, they can't cook anyway. My main point is that our enemy has a program.
Yes.
A well-designed program.
Yes.
Our enemy has a mission.
Yes.
And that mission is to control the world by
Yes.
any means
Necessary.
necessary.
Yes. So true. Yes.
If you are going to get him off of your back, you
Come
must
on.
have a mission.
Gotta have a mission. Wow.
You must have a priesthood. And you must go into that priesthood the same as someone going into a holy order, to devote the rest of your life to making sure that your people have the basic necessities of life and more. We should break our children up into different sections. Some people should devote their entire life making sure that we have fresh water.
Yes.
Do you know there's not enough fresh water in the world? Reforestation. We should stop shouting nation time until we understand the responsibility of maintaining a nation. We should get closer to ourselves, closer to our children, closer to the family structure. We have lived with these fragments many years, put them back together again, learn to speak to each other again, at least in a civil
Wow.
tone of voice.
Come on now. Come on. Yes. Yes. Our people can't even speak to each other. See,
We have
this
so
people
much
won't speak.
pent up anger.
Woo.
We will not take that pent up anger out on the real cause of that
Come on
anger,
now.
which is racism and white
See?
oppression.
We take out on
We
ourselves.
take it out on ourselves.
Wow. Wow.
There's the white people who manifest the same trait.
Mm.
Some people in Germany allegedly killed 6 million in a gas chamber.
Wow.
They're willing to fight everybody except the Germans.
That's right.
Fight the Arabs, fight the Africans, anybody that's weak. We didn't put nobody in the ovens. We're people who know what to do with ovens. We don't cook people. Apple cobbler, deep dish apple pie, good roast, good stews.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we know what to do with ovens.
Oh yeah. Yes.
We'll fix you a dish and make you know that we invented cooking.
Come on now.
No time to burn up people.
That's right.
What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves,
Yes. Yes.
we have to stop being imitators and be innovators.
That's right.
Realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth,
That's right.
our cultural and political heartbeat
That's right.
is in Africa.
Yes. Yes.
Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home. That is the home of your spirit.
That's right.
And that is the heart and meaning and definition of your
Yes.
commitment.
Come on now.
And none of us,
None of
any
us.
place in the world,
Yes.
will be free until
Come on now.
that continent
Yes.
is free.
Wow.
The tragedy of the continent now
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Wow.
Africans lost from their historical memory
Yes.
the time and the method they used when they were in charge of the state. Every African state, with no exception, is an imitation European state. And the apparatus of Europe will never work. Every African state outside of Europe, with some exceptions, is an imitation European state. I have found, much to my surprise, the Africans in the Pacific has a healthier attitude toward African unity
Yes.
than the Africans in Africa, the Africans in the Caribbean, and the Africans in the United States. What hit those people over there? They're less polluted with a whole lot of confusion, especially the confusion brought
Yes.
by
Come on now. Say it.
a German political opportunist
Yes. Yes.
and Johnny come lately called Carl something or another, and I can't quite remember whether it was Harpo or another kind of Marx. And so we got different kind of black Marxists, both confused. I think most of the black Marxists I met are Harpo Marxists instead of Karl Marxists. Any system in the world will work for you if you make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Any religion in the world can serve you if you make it serve you. But a religion without spirituality
Come on now, say
is
it.
not worth your time.
Yes, yes.
And religion,
Mm-hmm.
in some cases, has toned down
Yes.
the concept
Yes.
of spirituality.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
We have to use the dictionary words right, and maybe we were fighting for the wrong thing. Maybe this whole concept of the United States of Africa is wrong in words. It sounds more like an imitation. Why not a union of African states? Why not regional Pan-Africanism that will feed into a continental Pan-Africanism? Why not require every African child away from home to learn at least one African language and
now.
be conversant with at
Yes.
least one African
Wow.
culture and to have some general knowledge
Come on.
of Africa
Yes.
as part of his beginning on
Yes.
this earth?
Yes.
Why not, instead of telling them old English fairy tales, why not tell them African fairy tales,
Yes.
African teaching stories?
Yes. 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 Yes.
And why not give them genuine African names other than Abdullah and Muhammad something? You're going to give them all these Arab names, you think you're going African. Everybody in Africa who cannot be addressed as an African is either an invader or a descendant
Wow.
of an invader.
Wow. Wow.
Once we find ourselves on the map of human geography, we have to tell our children who they are. We must tell our children what their mission must be and the kind of legacy that they have to leave for the whole world, but begin with themselves in the essential selfishness of survival.
Yes.
Take care of yourself first.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
find that mirror and see who's staring back at
Come on
you.
now. Come on.
And who's staring back at you, use the word we.
Uh-huh.
We gonna change the world. And if we gave the world the first humanity, we will give the world the next humanity. And as for getting ready for the job, we are ready to do it right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Now, we heard the brother, and again, like I say, um, we have to definitely be completely ready to learn about who we are, and definitely ready to come up out of that box, that Christianity box, that you don't even know where it come from. Okay, the stories that's in that Christianity book, you don't even know who written them. Okay, and that goes for the whole Bible. You see, this is the reason why I completely begin to start studying history. This is the reason why I begin to start studying of where I come from. You see, I begin to start studying, and you heard that brother say some things. Now, when he said something about Christ, what he's doing, he's saying, okay, if you guys going to believe in the Bible, if y'all going to believe those stories in the Bible, if y'all going to believe the main character in the Bible, Jesus, if you're going to remember, if you're going to if you're going to continue on going with that, listen, you guys to know this right here. According to the Bible, he was black. Okay, Jesus was black. The places that he come from prove that he was black. His family, yada yada yada. Listen, that's if you believe in the story. You see, if you believe in a story, at least believe it the way that it's saying. Look, read it and see what it is for itself, and then like do the because there's no evidence of nothing that the Bible is talking about. There's no evidence at all. But around the areas that they say he hung, won't you do investigation on those areas? You see, now I can give you a fake story, but give you a real state. I can give you a fake story, but give you a real country. You see, I can give you a fake story, but give you a real name. You see that? But because the name is real, don't mean that the story is real. So that's exactly what the Bible's about. Oh, yes, it got some names of areas in there that is real areas. So if you look up the areas that's in there that where they said that this little fella Jesus hung around or where he was born at, you will see what color he is. So this is what he said. He's not saying it as if he believed in them, but he know that and I know there's a lot of people that believe in him. Listen, you believing in Jesus Christ, if that make you a better person, you better continue on believe. If you was out here on drugs, and you know that you was on drugs, and you know at a point of time in your life you just couldn't see you stopping, or you just couldn't see you quitting smoking drugs, and then you called up on Jesus, and then you stopped, you better hold on to Jesus. You better hold on to who you called on. You see, I'm gonna tell you something. If you got with a young lady, if you was a man that was on drugs and you got with a young lady, and because of that young lady, you got offered drugs, you better stick with that young lady. Same thing. You see that? You see how our mind is? And in our mind, we feel that Jesus is the one that I came into and he completely just rescued me. Okay, if you believe that, stick with that. Stick with that. You see? And I'm gonna tell you something. And a lot of people don't want to do history on that because they're afraid of what they're gonna find. And if you've been sticking with that, and then you do history on what you've been sticking with, that you think have saved you, and then you find out that what you were sticking with is fiction, you see what happened then. So therefore, just stick with that. If that's what's making you a better person, stick with it. You see, if Jehovah being a Jehovah Witness, if that what makes you a better person, you better remain Jehovah Witness. See, being a Muslim, if Allah, if you think that it's Allah that's keeping you from murdering somebody or hurting yourself or hurting somebody, you better stick with Allah. Yes, you see what I'm saying? But on the outside of that, why don't you learn your history? That's what I did. I came from on the outside of that, and I began to learn my history. And that right there is when I heard Dr. Dr. Henry Clark say, what will we tell our children? That is that's a true statement. What will we tell? Is it something that you can tell your child? Let me tell you something. When you leave here, what are you leaving for your child? You see, what is your child going to know that you taught him or that you left him or her when you leave here and you're gone and they're still here? What are they going to have to continue on? You see, what did you leave them? It's like we're the only group of people that when we die, we don't leave our kids anything. Why? Because we don't have nothing. You see, a lot of us don't even have a bank account for our child. Think about it. So what will you tell your children about your condition? What will you tell your children about the neighborhood that you live in? What would you tell your children when they walk into every store and out of all the stores that they go in, they know that we don't own them. You see? And see, listen, just like you heard Dr. Henry Clark say, Dr. Henry Clark said, if a man open up a store and begin to start selling underwear, and if all of us begin to start buying his underwear, we'll make him a billionaire just with one item versus all the rest of these items that's out here that's making them rich and keeping us at the bottom. Now, I'm going to let you listen to another. This is another clip. Well, this is the same clip, but this is another man that is trying to get our attention. Stay tuned.
Okay, we will take literally a 5-minute break. It is now 2 minutes to 8. We will get back together at 3 minutes after 8. So we're talking about 5 minutes. Okay, thank you.
I mention it for him because he is quite modest sometimes. It's being done by, I think, the Alcan Tours, the African division on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. They're listed. So if you're interested, if you don't get any literature tonight, be sure to call him. I'm sure if you're able to join him, you'll have a wonderful time. It's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Ben, who will speak to you for the second part of the program, and then the floor will be open to questions and answers, which can be directed to both of them. Please welcome Dr. Ben.
I would like to say good evening, and as my elder stated, that wasn't meant to be pleasuresome, but it meant to be rather serious. But continuing where he left off with respect to the youth, I would like to start my observation by saying, not too long ago, there was an attempt by a young man, but probably not so young. That young man is no longer with us. But he tried to make the Urban League responsive to at least the Harlem community where its New York branch is located. With certain constraints, of course, Whitney Young tried to relate to all factions in the African community. Must then have voted Democratic, so I'm going to be equally foolish. Establish a sister called Goddess Ma'at to deal specifically and generally with nothing else but truth. So I'll have to let my youngster know that when you go to Washington, D.C., and look at the symbols of justice with a scale hanging down, one down and one up, a woman with a sword today, they weigh 38 on the side with long clubs. I would say to my youngster, won't you look funny 8 months pregnant with a 38 on your side and a long club of 38 inches preparing to beat somebody and put them under arrest? In other words, what I have to speak to my youngster isn't about the 3 R's, because my youngster knows that. After all, her father just built a pyramid that day, 82 of them in one place, and then went in Sudan and built another 30 of them. So the pyramids are no problem. Engineering was no problem. I said, son, engineering is no problem. Just go down the street at Washington and look at the copy they have there for George Washington, called the George Washington Memorial. The obelisk. The only obelisks in Europe, son, are those that they stole and carried there. Rome got the most of them. Put crosses on the top to make you believe they come from Europe. But son, I told him, son, my little daughter too, great-grands, you have to realize you cannot make a miracle happen when there is nothing. You must make miracles out of something. A miracle is taking the dirt, formulating it, cooking it, putting other specimens in it. They call it chemistry, son. Change it from its solid state to its liquid state, its gaseous state. And don't figure nobody in the world got no permission to make a bomb, to make all kinds of technical equipment of war, and tell you what you can make and can't make. Nobody got that kind of message from God to decide only African and Asian people can't make chemical weapons, but everybody else can, son. Especially, son, when you were a chemist, Greece did not exist. Because Greece was not in history, even when they call it first, until 1000 BC. Son, in 1000 BC, your daddy has been gotten so old in culture that you were folding up your tent to start all over again. But you had to reopen the tent to let Thales come down to get philosophy. Let all the others come down to write their books, and to be the first to write the book after coming to learn how to write a book. So I would have some real serious discussion with my charges in terms of the African philosophical concept of existence and knowledge of self. As the first world traditional motto says, son, daughter, your first step is not to secure a Rolls Royce, neither is to secure a PhD, but your first step is to release your African mind. And if you find that it's difficult to release it where you are, take a trip home, son. I don't mind where you land. So it doesn't matter if you take a dirigible, a Zeppelin, and land straight down, or take a boat, whether it be a submarine or a surface boat, or of course an airplane. Because wherever you land in your motherland, you will find justification to be proud. If you land at the northeast coast, son, and that go for you, daughter, you will find a group of Africans as way back as 212. Some people call them Carthaginians. We call ourselves then Carthaginians. We went in all the way to the gates of Rome. Yes, son, at least Southwestern Europeans aren't brown-skinned because of the sun. That has to do something with it in the summer. But son, they are so because your ancestors did not intermingle with the elephants when they had sexual desire. They participated with Caucasian flesh. As a son, Oh, and let's got the little girls. I can't leave them out, of course. I wish there was some word to deal with both sexes without having, and I'm not going to say Ms. I don't know what you mean, Ms. It's something more like a B or something like that, buzzing around. Ms. All kind of negative term. Woman, chairwoman and chairman. You ain't gonna doubt about that. You know who I'm talking about. See, I don't get modern. I said, son, keep away from these modern words. They're gonna mess up everybody. I will have to talk to my son and my daughters quite seriously, of course, the grands. Mainly in terms of the ability to think. The ability to make distinction between what you believe and what you know. I believe the moon is made out of green cheese. I've already taken a lamp and shone the lamp with all the power I can on the green cheese. It didn't even bounce. It was absorbed by the green cheese. I know the moon isn't made of green cheese. If I want to ignore that, then I believe that is so. I can't treat it any longer as being a fact. I will have to let them know a belief is the absence of knowledge.
That's right.
It is a great hope, a great desire. Nothing wrong if you could keep it in the proper perspective. We need, as an African people, to make the proper distinction between a belief and a factual knowledge, and treat them as such. Thus, we will not at least fight each other over beliefs.
That's right.
When there is a greater need for all of us.
That's right.
In order to come together.
That's right. Come on now.
I will have to tell my children that you cannot wait with the lame excuse, we don't get together. Every time something is to be done, you hear us. We don't get together. The same song. How many people you want to get together to do something? You must give a figure. What is the getting together figure? Young man asked me the other day at the university, Dr. Ben, did you foresee a new leader coming to lead us? I said, you, son, you.
Yeah.
Everybody wants, all of us want the other guy, the other woman to lead. Because you don't want to get the bullets. You want to be able to come here Sunday and say, Lord, please give him help in heaven. You're talking about Martin now. Because in the case of Malcolm, you said, Lord, please don't make hell too hot for him. It's a good escape. You can now relax and go back and pray and donate. And you've done yours. But then again, I have to talk to my son and my daughter. And I said, look, I don't mind, in my case, how you praying, son or daughter. But you cannot pray. You cannot come to the door here. And across the street, there's a sister or a brother in the 6th floor window with fire belching out of the other window. And you realize that fire is soon going to go in that room. And don't turn around, go across the street. Don't come in here. They don't need you in here. God gonna exist with or without you. They need you cross the street at that moment to help that sister, that brother with something, at least if she jumped through the window, a coat to put around her or him so he could do without getting into shock. Then, when you have done what Jesus would have done, then you come in here and speak to your Father. It is because we have acted so contrary to human understanding and nature that we missed the boat. There's a common statement that prayer can do everything. Yes, it can do anything, but there's no guarantee it's going to do it for you. But you can do something.
Come on now.
And you must do it without waiting for God to do everything for your lazy self.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
And as we do that, then the new Malcolm, the new King, the new Garvey, the new Du Bois would have been here. They would never have gone. Because we would never have sat down and wait for these individuals
Come on now.
to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
Are you telling me that only King could have do some thinking and Malcolm in the 60s? That only Du Bois, Garvey, and Booker T could have done something in the 60s? And only David Walker, Henry Highland Garnet, Sojourner Truth, and others could have done something in the 80s and the 1800s? And only those few people we had among us who could lead? Well, I understood that the disciples around Jesus all led. Only certain times they call on Big C for advice. Then let us act, let us lead. Let us go back and do what Richard Allen did when he bolted, sitting up in the crow nest. That's no remarks to you. Of course, I'm just reciting. Richard had to go up like all the others of us. It was not only going in the back of the bus, we had to go up. That wasn't built for the choir. That was built for us up there. We couldn't come down here. And Richard Allen said, he is not going to deal with a segregated God.
Come on now.
If God is for segregation, then let me get away from him. And Richard said, since I don't believe God is for that, especially when I looked at God before Michelangelo painted him for Pope Julius II, he had looked like the brothers in Africa.
Yeah.
So how come all of a sudden he don't want me in church when I built a church when he decided to plan? So I said, I got to talk very seriously to this young man. In the philosophy, the point is that we want to act without a philosophical concept. We teach a theology without its blackness. We are the only people that have a Jesus.
Wow.
That isn't black, like us.
Wow.
That Japanese Jesus look Japanese. Chinese Jesus look Chinese. We are the only one that find that Jesus got no color. Then how John the Baptist saw him to baptize him?
That's the case. See? That's the case.
No.
Unless y'all want to believe that if that's the case.
We've got to make, soon we're going to have to come with the gospel according to Martin Luther King.
That's right. Come
The
on.
gospel according to Malcolm X. The gospel according to Rosa Parks.
Yes.
The gospel, why not?
You got evidence.
Go back and read that those people who are spoken of, who gave gospel, gave it for things they did within the society. They moved men and women to act. They did and lead. And thus, people wrote about them and call their doing gospel. We must be able to distinguish between singing Amazing Grace and knowing who wrote it.
Come on now.
And the reason it was written.
Come on now.
We must understand when we sing, "Oh Lord, make me whiter than snow."
Come on now.
to my little grandchild, and not only wash me in your blood, red blood. That's the only kind I know. If it turn black, you're dead. Wash me in your blood, black me, wash me in the blood, and I'll be whiter than snow. What image am I giving to my little child?
Wow.
When I have a Bible with pictures, and the only thing black in there, I mean, we got to talk it. We got to tell it. We got to talk this thing.
Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Don't tell me anything. Go home tonight and ask your little child, point me out Jesus. Don't open the book. Put a book on the table. Put all kind of pictures. And put Michelangelo's painting of Jesus. And then tell the child, pick you me out Jesus. That child is going to pick Michelangelo's painting. So then what you have done to the child? What image you have projected to the child?
Wow.
And at the Nicene Conference, up until that time, Jesus was born in a cave in Bethlehem, in Ethiopia. It's at the Nicene Conference of Bishops that he suddenly was born in a cave.
Exactly.
A manger in Bethlehem.
That's where they brought him from.
Why should my child know our Savior? Born even in Asia and come down to school in Africa. And before that, when his mother brought him for haven in Africa, shouldn't she hear about the role her ancestors played? That's why I am not including nothing in my history book. I am not a curriculum to be included. I am the curriculum. No, I have to tell my youngsters, when your grandparents, your ancestors were there at the banks of the Nile, contemplating on this world, developing our scientific instrument to even measure the planet, the stars, the moon, and the distance between us, writing philosophically, bringing to the first theosophical concept about the deity, establishing the concept of right and wrong by virtue, making laws to govern mankind. We were there alone. And nowhere else we know recorded history tells us at the same time. This late thing about the Babylonian Empire, you can tell me all the theories, I want artifacts. When I tell you about the Nile, I carry you to Egypt.
Right. That's right.
And I show you.
And give you evidence.
I don't say it once used to be here.
Right. Come on now.
I say here it is.
Here it is. Evidence. Evidence. All right. We're going to just stop right there. Listen, I'm going to be coming with a whole lot of videos and again, like I say, it took me a while to get back on here because I wanted to investigate these guys here. I wanted everybody that I listened to, I investigated them to see the evidence of what they're saying. Oh, it's a lot of people that I heard talking about certain things in the Bible, certain things in the Hebrew Bible and in the Christian Bible, but when it came down to evidence, there was none. So I can't rely on that. I can't put my neck on that. You see, I can't put my neck out on nothing that don't have no evidence. You see, but when I listen to when I listen to my elders, you see, that can really tell me something because they've been there, done that. I even do history on them. I'm sorry, I even do investigation on them just to make sure that I'm getting the right information so that when I give out this information, it's coming to you correct. You see, and that's exactly what's going on. Listen, that's the reason why I encourage you. I've been doing it. Listen, ever since the last couple of years, I've been asking you this and I've been telling you to do this. Investigate what you calling yourself. If you're calling yourself a Muslim, investigate it. You see, where did it come from? What did it originate from? Who came up with it? When did they come up with it and why? Same way with Christianity, Jehovah's Witness, whatever you say that you are, whatever you claim it to be, do your investigation on it to see where it came from, why it came, who brought it, and why they brought it, where period. You see? And that's what I done. When I done that, then I found out, wait a minute here, something is not right. So I began to put the history that I was learning and I was finding evidence of along with the scriptures that I was reading. Okay? In the Tanakh and in the Christianity Bible. So in the Judaism Bible, which is from, since a lot of you don't know, which is from Genesis. And then once you get into the middle, you got the Apocrypha, and then you end at Malachi. That is the Judaism book. Okay, that's their scriptures, the Hebrew scriptures. Then once you get to Matthew, and then from Matthew to Revelation, that's your Christianity scriptures. That's the Christianity scriptures. You see, and once I begin to do my investigation, I begin to compare. And the stuff that I found, it's a lot of things that I found that a lot of you don't even know about. Now, I'm coming and I'm trying to bring it to you so that you can pull yourself up out of the delusion, waiting on someone to come back to make your world better. When you don't watch people that you know, when you don't watch family members die by the wayside, waiting on something that never came to them, waiting on a healing that they never got. There's herbalists. I know I know one really good herbalist right in the city of Toledo. I'm not going to mention her name because I don't got the permission, but she's a very good herbalist. I done got testimonies from the products that she give. I done got testimonies how you got someone that had diabetes at an all-time high and had to go to dialysis, to where once they start taking this product, the doctor told them, don't come back here no more. Don't come back to dialysis no more. You see, I'm telling you. So like I say, now you have a lot of people that I've watched pass on, believing that God was going to heal them when they could have done it themselves. They could have did it themselves. Okay. If that right there, if you really believe, and if you just know that your God that you serve is a healer, and you just know that he's going to heal you from that disease or whatever you got, okay, why are you taking pills for it then? Why are you taking medication for it then? Oh, I'm going to take the medication while I wait on God? Are you serious? Think about it. That's one thing that we don't think. And again, listen, I am totally for my people. I don't care how nobody think of me. I don't care how nobody look at me, what they say about me. All that stuff is over. All that stuff is gone. All that debating that you want to do, that's gone. See, when you got evidence of a thing, you don't have to debate a thing. Again, when you got evidence of a thing, you do not have to debate a thing. You only have to debate a thing when you don't have evidence of a thing. Because I can debate you if you say that you seen a purple cow flying over Toledo, dropping milk at people's doorsteps. I could debate that. You know why? But now listen, but if you show me evidence, and if I see the evidence and it is true, I can't debate it no more. Talk to me. So again, like I say, the reason why I showed you this video is because it is so true. Not only what are you going to tell your children, but what are you going to leave your children? You see, what type of dreams could you leave your children? What type of reality are you going to leave your children when you leave here? Okay? When you leave it. And I'm going to tell you something. It's sad that I've watched a lot of us fight over when someone died, who didn't get left and who didn't receive this and who wasn't on the will. Listen, the reason why is because he or she that died did not have enough for everybody. So the only thing that you can do is fight over what the little bit that he had. And what's that, a car? What was that, a house or something like that? You see, I'm talking about businesses. You see, listen, every Arab that I know, their child has already inherited their business, whether it's selling furniture or selling cars. The Chinese people, the same way. The European people, the same way. Because it is a repeating process who's in charge. It's a repeating process who's at the bottom. You see, it's just it's a cycle that repeats over and over and over, that we're at the bottom. And the cycle repeat over and over and over and over, that you got the Chinese man at the top, you got the European man at the top, you got the Arab man at the top. You see? And it just repeat itself, repeat itself, repeat itself. Why? Because of the simple fact, because of the strand of the businesses that the Arab, the European, and the Chinese is leaving behind for their children. See? And if that continue on happening, it's going to always be like that. It's going to be always us. We the one that's got all the money. They set up shop in our neighborhoods to get our money. So how come we can't set up shop in our own neighborhoods to keep our money in our neighborhoods? How come we can't do that? Oh, I know why. Because you're sitting back waiting on someone by the name of Jesus to crack the sky, to come back and to relieve you from all your pain, from all your bitterness, from your brokenness. You see? But I'm here to tell you that as long as you're waiting, you're going to continue on seeing black on black crime in your neighborhood. You're going to continue on living in the neighborhood that you live in. You're going to continue on complaining about who's in office. You see that? Listen, our ancestors didn't have to worry about what we're worried about today, because they already had civilization of a system that was already put together for their children until it got colonized. We right today is worried about Trump in the office or what's going to happen. Guess what? If you're not ready to get up off your butt, if you're not ready to put that religion crap down and grab hold onto your spirituality that you was born with, if you're not ready to put that Jesus stuff down and get up off your butt and do something for yourself, you better be worried about Trump. You better be worried about him. You see? Because downfall, your name is in that downfall box. Your name is in there. You see? Long as you in the Christianity box that was given to you by your oppressors. I asked this question before. What actually can your oppressors give you to free you? If they had you oppressed, still have you oppressed. What can they give you to free you if it's meant for them to oppress you? Think about it. Something we just don't do. Oh, well, you know what? I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to trust in Jesus. I'm just going to trust in Jesus. But here, your neighborhood's going right down the drain. Why are you trusting in Jesus? At once upon a time, your house was worth something. Now it ain't worth nothing because of the simple fact everybody in that neighborhood was trusting in Jesus. And the more they trusted in Jesus, down the drain the neighborhood went. Come on now. You see? I'm just going to wait on the Lord. He'll never leave me, nor will he forsake me. He's going to be with me till the end. Wow. And you watch people die with nothing, saying that same prayer, giving those same in the box phrases. He may not come when I want him, but he always on time. You died. He didn't come. So when will he be on time? Oh, well, if the dead can talk, they say, well, when he cracked the skies and the dead in Christ shall rise first. You see what we was taught? You know what that was a teaching of? That was a teaching of telling you, so what you don't have nothing here on this earth. Don't set your affections on things of this earth. Put your affections on things above. Whoever went above and came back down to tell you how above looked. Think about it. See? Don't set your affections on things down here. Don't build up no houses and things down here. Set your affections on things above. So in other words, it's telling you to set your affections on things above. What is the affections on the things above? How I want to be, or how it was distilled in my mind. Oh, there's going to be golden roads. Every day it's going to be howdy, howdy. Never goodbye. We're going to praise, 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 praise. Wow. If you study that out, and if you've seen where that phrase came from, if you've seen where the theory of heaven came from, you will back off and say, wait a minute, all this time I've been believing that my mama or my daddy that passed away was in heaven. All this time I've been going to this church to try to make it to a place that I know that's not there. Think about it. You got to do your history on it first, though. You see? And then somebody say, oh, now he's crazy. He's saying that there's no heaven. I'm also saying that there's no hell. Come on now. When did the concept of hell start? When did the concept of heaven start? When did you ever know about it? See? Listen, when was the first time you ever read about it? When was the first time that it ever came about? Oh, I know when. For you Christians, is when that Bible was written. But don't you know that the concept of heaven and the concept of hell was written and was thought about thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years before any Bible's even thought of? You see? See, what you got to do is once you find out and once you investigate with the stuff that you believe in and the thing that you're reading, you will definitely find out that, wow, how come I never seen this before? How come I never heard this before? Because number one, because you have not searched for it. You have not looked for it. You have not studied for it. And then you got a lot of preachers that know it that's not going to tell you about it. Listen, this is things that we didn't learn in kindergarten. We didn't learn this in school. This was not our curriculum. You just heard Dr. Ben say it was not our curriculum. We are the curriculum. So why are we trying to learn somebody else's curriculum when we are the curriculum? You see, like I say, we go through life as a child with something that was forced on us, that stuck with us, that we forced on our children. It was called religion. Whether you was a Jehovah's Witness, a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, whatever you were, that is what your children were, because you was not going to be a Christian and bring your child up teaching your child Islam. You see, your child was just what you were. So now, did the child want to be that? Let's go back before you was before you received it. When you came up out of your mother's womb, did you want to receive a religion and then grow into that religion and be controlled by that religion? The religion is what got our mind. It's what's controlling us. It's telling us what we can do, what we cannot do, what we can wear, what we can eat, who we can date. You see, what we have to do, what we gotta do, and then it gives us a God. I asked the question again. I asked it before. I'm gonna ask it again. Why in the world would you think that your enemy will free you? At the same time, it made you a slave. You see? To keep him up and to keep you down. Why in the world would you think that they'll give you something to free you when it was them that put you behind bars? I've never seen a cop arrest someone and put the handcuffs on them and then give them the key to the handcuffs and say, okay, now free yourself. I've never seen that happen. He's in chain. Listen, so the oppressor, this religion that everybody is standing strong on, this religion that you won't do no investigation about, this religion that was given to you from a baby, this religion that was forced on you, this religion that killed millions of people because they wouldn't accept it, this religion that got you in the box, this religion that's telling you what you can and what you cannot do, this religion is what have our people still to this day in chains. We're in chains from a book. Wait a minute. A book. Come on, just think about book with two religions in it. This is the reason why you so confused, because you got one religion telling you to go left, and then you got the other religion telling you to go right. So you got two religions in one book that's playing tug of war with each other. And if it's playing tug of war with each other, you know that it's playing tug of war with your mind. You got Judaism over here and Christianity over here, and it's pulling you. Think about it. Oh, you didn't know that you had two religions up under one cover, did you? You got Judaism, which the God of Judaism is Yahweh. Then you got Christianity, and the God of Christianity is Jesus. See, a lot of y'all don't know about Marcionism. Look up Marcionism, you see, and study about Marcionism. You do the work. But you think about it. So you got these two religions up under one cover that's playing tug of war with each other. Now watch this. You got the Christians that don't believe in Judaism. But just like Christianity did, Christianity went before the Bible was made, before that Christianity doctrine. Because Christianity go a long ways back. Christianity back then was not what it is today. You see what I'm saying? Study it out for yourself. But you got Christianity. You got the people that's in Christianity, okay? And the inventors of the doctrine of the Christianity that is today, which is the Roman Catholic Church, that they got all this, they went and they wanted to put this, and they put this in there. They voted at the Council of Nicene in 325 AD. They voted what they wanted in the scriptures, or in the scriptures, or what they wanted out of the scriptures. See, they voted in 325. at the Council of Nicene. What scriptures to take out? What scriptures? So therefore, now watch this. So what they did is they colonized Judaism. They colonized Judaism. They went over there and with Christian Christianity, a Christian lenses, Christian glasses on. This is the reason why when you look in the Tanakh, you see Jesus everywhere in the Tanakh. They called it the Old Testament. You know why they called it the Old Testament? Because when the Romans written the Christian Bible, they said that the Christian Bible is the New Covenant. So if the Christian Bible, which is the New Testament, is the New Covenant, this is the reason why they call the Tanakh the Old Testament. So this is the New Testament, okay? New Testament. This is our New Covenant, okay? The Old Covenant has been done away with. Why? Because Jesus came on scene and he completely did away with the Old Covenant and brought forth this New Covenant. This is what they say. But now watch this. Like I told you before, since you want to believe it, I'll go there with you. There's not one place in the Tanakh that talks about the Jesus that's over in Christianity, in the Christianity scriptures. There's not one. The first thing somebody gonna say is, yes it is. I got one. I got one of the very first ones. They're gonna say something about what is it? Genesis 3:14, something like that. And then they'll go for it and say, okay, I tell you what, this one right here that you can't. Here go one teacher that you can't get away from. What about Isaiah chapter 7:14? Behold, a virgin gonna be with child. Nope. I explained that to you, and you found the truth out about that. They say, okay, well, what about Isaiah chapter 9:6? Nope. Unto us a son is given. That was talking about Jesus. Nope. That was explained. See, here it is right here. We always got those sayings, and we always was told where to go to find the prophecy of Jesus over the Tanakh, and we went just there, and we just read that scripture, for example. Okay, when they said Isaiah chapter 7:14, everybody read 14. You know what I'm saying? Behold, a virgin gonna be with child, and she shall call his name Emmanuel. That's what they read. They didn't read 1 to 14. They just read 14. That right there is called parachuting to the middle of a chapter. And if you trying to get context, you can't get the correct context if you skipped and went down to the middle of a chapter. How you gonna get the correct? Listen, because number one, you're not reading it contextual. And if you don't read it contextual, that means you're reading it out of context. And when you read about a virgin, and listen, I'm going to do studies on that. I'm going to do, like I say, I've been away for a long time, off of here for a while, because I've been doing a lot of investigating on things that I've heard people say. But I'm going to do a teaching on Isaiah chapter 7:14 and let y'all know exactly who that's talking about. I'm also going to do one on Isaiah chapter 9:6, let you know who unto us a son was born. I'm going to let you know who that was. Then I'm also going to do one on Isaiah chapter 53. That's a very, 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 very big one that people say, well, he was wounded for our transgression. You see, with the chastisement of our peace, by his stripes we was made whole. I'm going to prove to y'all that was not talking about Jesus. I'm going to tell you who was talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You got to study. Now, right now, somebody said, oh, yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. But study it. Okay, forget what I'm talking about. Won't you study it for yourself? This is what I'm saying. You see? So now, in the video, you heard Dr. Ben. You heard Dr. Ben say that, and this is nothing but the truth. You could take a child and you can open up a child. You can put a lot of pictures in this child, and then you can you can also put the picture of Jesus in there. Okay, put the picture of Jesus in there, and then let him scroll through the books and ask him. I'm talking about put the Caucasian, the European Jesus right in there on how the Catholic Church got him written. I mean, got him pictured. That's in some of y'all churches right now up on the wall. Come on now. Listen, I know churches in Toledo that is holy churches that got the whole statue of a European man up on a cross. You see that? So now, if you go to that church, or if you go to a church as a child with that picture painted up on your wall, what image is that child going to have as it get bigger or as it get older? It's going to have that image. But you get that child, you say, oh, I want you to pick out Jesus in this book. Out of 50 photos, I guarantee you that child is going to go right to the one that the Europeans created and made. You see, back in the antiquity with those two composites. See that? So now, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying, and all I'm hearing these scholars is saying this. Why in the world, number one, would you give your life? You only got one life to live. Why would you dedicate your life to being controlled by a book? Listen, that means you can't even enjoy your life. You see? And listen, here's another thing. What we heard Dr. Henry Clark say. Since everybody want to believe that there is a God, and since everybody want to grab onto a God, because when you hear the name God, God help me out this situation, God help me out this situation, God is bigger than me, so I depend on God. Okay, hold on to that concept of God. Okay, just hold on to that. But here it is right here. How come everybody can't choose whichever God they want? Matter of fact, in the Bible, in Joshua, I tell you to choose you this day whom you're going to serve. So if God in the Bible told you to choose you this day who you're going to serve, he said if you're going to serve him, leave Baal alone. If you're going to serve Baal, leave him alone. Okay, so if I just say I want to serve Baal, why now I got to be burnt up and go to hell because I serve Baal? Didn't he just give me a choice? Huh? Didn't he just give me a choice? So why do what you come on, think about it. And like I say, this is for mature audience only. This ain't for people that's stuck in a box. And you just know good and so well that you know everything about Christianity, but you don't even know where it came from. Don't listen, please. Don't do yourself like that. Don't do yourself like that. Don't do yourself that way. Don't do yourself like that. Don't you love you? If you love you, won't you begin to start trying to find truth so that you can tell yourself the truth? Please. You see, think about it. It's nothing but facts and evidence that we as a people is at the bottom. We've been at the bottom ever since you can remember. We've been at the bottom. Ever since your ancestors can remember, we've been at the bottom. But way back in antiquity, we was up at top because we had nothing controlling us. It was only when we begin to start being controlled by that Bible that we fell to the bottom. When we had our own civilization, before they came to mess with us in antiquity, we was at the top. You heard him say there was no jailers because there was no jail system. There was no orphanages because they didn't get rid of their children. And there was no nursing homes because they didn't let their old folk go to the nursing homes. See that? Think about it. But because we don't control nothing, we don't control our own, soon you can't do nothing with your mother because she got dementia. The first thing you want to do is send her to a nursing home. Soon your kid begin to act up. You call the law. You want the law to come and get your child and take your child to some crazy house or some rescue crisis because there's nothing that you can do with them. See that? Nothing that you can do with them. You see, think about it. This is all that's being said. This is all that's being said. When are you going to wake up and look around and quit being selfish and look at the upkeep of your neighbors? You see, it's a shame. We walk right past each other and don't even say nothing to each other. We walk right past each other and won't say hello. You walk right past your brother, right past your sister. Listen, I'm Teacher McCardell. And again, I'm going to be coming on with a lot of information for you. And again, all I'm trying to do is just trying to help somebody. And until then, again, I give all praise to my earthly creators, which is my mother and my father, and to their earthly creator, which is their mother and their father, all the way down. You see? And if I go all the way down, then we'll touch the creator, which no one knows who it is. All praise.